Welcome to episode 95 of Build Your House Yourself University by BYHYU. I'm your host and fellow student, Michelle Nelson, and together we'll learn the basics of home design and construction and demystify the building process so we can build quality dream homes with or without a general contractor. Well, BYHYU, I'm giggling because, as you can hear, I'm still hoarse and I sound like a 13-year-old boy. But I did want to give you a quick episode just to update you on my project and give you a few things to think about when designing your house. First, though, let me address the BYHYU private Facebook group. I asked you about that a few weeks ago. I think that it's best that we hold off for a little while. I'll revisit that decision in a few months, maybe when I actually start building. But I do want to thank all of you who wrote in expressing your interest in the group. I think it's a great idea, and maybe we'll have more people willing to participate in a few months. Okay, let's get right to that project update. My architect and I are almost finished designing the house. We had some delays because he's been out of town quite a bit in the last couple of months, but we're close to being finished. At this point, the floor plan is complete. I changed a few bedroom and bathroom doors and closets to make sure I had enough wall space for beds and other furniture. I would actually suggest that you design your rooms with your furniture in mind so that you don't accidentally place a door or closet right in the middle of a wall where you'd ideally place your bed or dresser. After I made those last few tweaks, I actually sent the house plan to another professional, a building designer, a house designer, just to see if there was anything about the flow or layout of the house that she would change. I called a designer that I'd heard good things about, and I actually tried to work with her. But both times that I called her earlier in the year, she was swamped with work and couldn't fit my house in. So she was very nice about it, and I actually appreciated her honesty, but she's the first one I thought of when I wanted to get my house plans looked over by a third set of eyes. I think it's good to get another person's perspective, a perspective outside of yours or your architect's. You just want to see if they can find any potential problems or issues with the layout or flow. So the day I called her, she was actually free that day. And so she told me she enjoyed looking at house plans and she wouldn't charge me just to look it over quickly. It took her about 20 to 30 minutes to study the plan, and then she got back to me. She said the house looked great and that it didn't have any major issues. The only thing she brought up was the placement of my refrigerator. She wanted to make sure that it wasn't too far away from my stove. And that was it. She really didn't have any other criticisms, and that made me feel better. Just to have a third pair of eyes on the house plan before it was finalized. It's good to get an outside perspective. So my suggestion to you is to ask an experienced architect or house designer or interior designer or even a builder if they would take a quick look to check for any problems with your flow or layout. They may see an issue that you or your architect missed. Remember, the best time to make changes to a house is when it's on paper. So now that the layout is done, we're working on the window placement and roof design. What I learned recently is that exterior window design trumps interior window design. You have to make sure that the windows look good from the outside of the house first and foremost. You may have to make some changes to some interior features like closets, bed placement, or bathroom fixture placement so that the exterior window design works out. The window design should look balanced. Not too many windows, not too few. But to save money, design with as few windows as you can get away with. So if a section of your house looks good with either 2 or 3 windows, go with 2 windows to save money. Going with standard-sized windows will also save you. Most companies have many standard sizes. They often range from 24 by 36 inches up to 72 by 48 inches, and there are many standard sizes in between. I'll have a link in the show notes to a chart of standard-sized windows, but ultimately you'll have to consult your specific window vendor for their standard sizes. To make the house more energy efficient and more comfortable, I want to add overhangs to the south side of my house, which has lots of windows. Right now, we're trying to come up with a roof design that lends itself to overhangs. So that's what we're working on right now. Things are going well, a little slower than I hoped, but I'd rather it be done right than quickly. Before I go, I want to thank Matrapo and MadDog1520 for your 5-star ratings and reviews. Matrapo started out by saying, very informative and straight to the point. And Mad Dog 1520 says, listen to them all. Thanks, y'all. I appreciate you for taking the time to do that. You don't understand how much your kind words, whether in emails or reviews, encourage me more than you know. I also want to thank those of you who sent me emails and messages to tell me to get well soon. I appreciate you. I'm trying to get there, and I think by next week I should be back to normal. Well, I'm going to end it here before I start coughing, but thank you for stopping by this week. Come back next week for another episode of Build Your House Yourself University. BYHYU. Please remember that the purpose of this podcast is simply to educate and inform. It's not a substitute for professional advice. The information that you hear is based only on the opinions, research, and experiences of my guests and myself. That information might be incomplete, it's subject to change, and it may not apply to your project. In addition, building codes and requirements vary from region to region, so always consult a professional about specific recommendations for your home.